at the moment.
You have a lot of people like Tucker Carlson, like you mentioned, and others that seems like they're backing Iran in this war.
He doesn't know Jack, with all due respect to him. And I saw his interview in Jordan, and he was so misinformed. I think sticking your nose through the microphone for too long makes one think that they're smart. And I would say, Mr. Carlson, do your homework before you render yourself very irrelevant in the first instance, because you're talking nonsense. When you came to Jordan, Mr. Carlson, you spoke about how lovely the situation of the Christians in Jordan was, which you and I as a Jordanian know is absolute nonsense. Jordan's an apartheid state, one of the worst in the world and one of the worst in history. He couldn't notice that. So I'm not in the position of taking a lot of journalists too seriously.
On the flip side, he came to Israel for a few hours. He did an interview with Ambassador Huckabee, and he said that the Christians are persecuted in Israel. So he says that Christians do better outside of Israel when the truth is the opposite. The only country where the Christians are flourishing in the Middle East is Israel, correct?
Well, let's look at Palestinians in the West Bank, not Christians. Let's look at Muslim, so-called, they're not, absolutely not Arabs, but okay, let's call them Arabs for the sake of this interview. So-called Arab Muslims in the West Bank. They are considered the ones, Palestinians, they are considered the ones living under Israeli occupation. Their income per capita is higher than most Arab countries. The average marriage rate for males, the marrying age for males, because you marry when you have money, when you have the resources to marry. They marry in their mid to late 20s. In Jordan, men could barely get married by their early 40s. The fertility rate is very high. The property ownership in Jordan, for example, just across the river, it's very, very distant dream to have your own property, even if it's a small apartment. In the West Bank, they're thriving. You go to Bethlehem, Ramallah, Jericho, you see those stores. When Israel didn't have a Starbucks, Bethlehem had its own Starbucks. I used to go there. Christians, likewise, they are thriving in Israel, even within the territories which people are calling occupied, because of the Israeli system. Now, don't get me wrong. Israel, they have to change their ways in the sense that the West Bank is still under military law. Well, this is rather stupid. The West Bank should be annexed, and the Israeli civil law should be extended to the